Hi folks, welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary, and not your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Hi folks, welcome back. I'm back. Voice a little hoarse, but that's what you get when you drive over 800 miles at one time with the window down in the wintertime. I just like the fresh air when I drive, and unfortunately it took some of my voice, but I got enough to be really PO'd. And here we go. First day back. These uniparty Republicans really, really, truly, and I'll use the term I always use, really suck. Senate inches closer to raising debt ceiling by $2.5 trillion after party line procedural vote. Yeah. McConnell-backed procedural trick allows Democrats to raise debt ceiling without GOP votes. So they get to cause all the problems of raising the debt ceiling another $2.5 trillion. And the Republicans can go back when they run for re-election, the ones that are up this year, and say, I didn't vote for that, but we got it anyway. These guys suck so bad. I don't know why McConnell's the leader of the Republicans. I really don't. And to be honest with you, it was between a rock and a hard place. If I remember correctly, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, when Mitch McConnell ran to get his seat back, he was actually behind, and Trump came in and really helped the guy out. So we got his seat back, and we all know Senate seats are 6-year terms. It's unbelievable. And then McConnell turns around and screws him over. His wife was one of the cabinet members. Nothing against her. She's an intelligent, articulate woman. And then said she resigned under protest at the very end of Trump's term as a protest for the insurrection. 2 weeks left in your job and you quit to make a point. That's virtue signaling just like the damn woke people do. Well, let's read on before I get too aggravated. The vote puts the chamber on a path to pass the bill Tuesday afternoon. Then the House of Representatives is expected to quickly sync up with the Senate, sending the bill to President Biden's desk, averting a political default after months of brinkmanship. Let it burn. Let it burn. There has to be at some point, there has to be consequences for just irrational behavior. I mean, you can't keep running up the credit card bill. You just can't keep doing it. Eventually, it's going to have to be paid. And it's not going to be by the corporations and the rich people. Be honest with you. Not that I'm defending rich people or corporations. I'm sure the vast majority are decent people. But they pay a crap load of taxes now. In fact, a little side tidbit concerning taxes. Now we're talking about the debt. The bottom 50% of wage earners, people that actually work, not Social Security, SSI, SSD, any of that stuff, welfare, none of it, people that actually work. The bottom 50% only pay between 2 and 3% of net federal taxes. When you go to add up all they pay and all they get back, 97% of it is wiped out. So who the hell is really paying the taxes? Let's tell the truth here. Tax the rich. Yeah, go ahead. They're paying the bulk. They're paying the lion's share now. Last week, we advanced bipartisan legislation that will enable the chamber to address the debt ceiling on a fast-track basis. Liar, liar, liar. Bipartisan, the vote was 50 to 49. You have 50 Senate Democrats. Where's your bipartisan? I live in New York State. This is an embarrassment. Oh, Schumer also went on to say the Senate will act Tuesday to prevent default. You put yourselves in this situation, especially you, Schumer. You've been there a long time, long time. Schumer said Tuesday the debt ceiling increase is expected to last until 2023. Oh, wait for it. Just before the presidential elections and the congressional elections, and a third of the Senate is up in 2024. Oh, let's read on. Nearly all Senate Republicans earlier this year said they would vote against any debt ceiling increase in protest of Democrats' plans to spend trillions of dollars along party lines. If those huge spending bills the Democrats put in weren't voted on, weren't done, all those trillions of dollars, and they wanted to raise the debt ceiling a little, I'd probably go along with it. But they're spending money like drunken sailors. It's like the guy that runs up 30 grand worth of credit card bills a week before he files for bankruptcy. It's just criminal. Republicans insist that Democrats use budget reconciliation to raise the debt limit, which is the process they used to advance their massive COVID spending bill earlier this year and are using again their social spending bill now. But Democrats led by Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, I got to do this. Yeah, my buddy Chuck. More like up Chuck. It's amazing to me. Well, let's get back. Chuck Schumer refused to use that process, but led to a standoff this year between Republicans and Democrats that took the U.S. just days away from defaulting on the debt and calls it economic catastrophe. Owing all these trillions of dollars is not an economic catastrophe? Little side tidbit note concerning federal spending. Back when Richard Nixon was president, we were on the gold standard. And he took us off the gold standard. He was a major player in that. Why? Because they couldn't afford. They couldn't afford the Great Society programs of Lyndon Johnson in the previous administration from Nixon. That's why. And that was the beginning of the end. But Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell agreed to a temporary hike in the debt limit that prevented default until December. He emphasized the Democrats shouldn't count on GOP votes to raise the debt ceiling again, but still angered some of his party who saw the move as caving the Democrats, because it is. It is. Mitch, you're part of, you're part of the uniparty. Hate Trump, love Trump, somewhere in between. This is what he's talking about. This is what he's talking about. These people should be purged from elected office, especially at the state and federal level, from the Republican Party. It's the uniparty. Controlled opposition, speed bumps to the Democrats. Pick any saying you want. Then as the U.S. approached the projected default rate date, again this month, McConnell and Schumer cut a deal that will allow Republicans to all vote against raising this debt ceiling without Democrats using reconciliation. So you slimy little SOB. What you did was, none of the Republicans are going to vote for it, so we found a way where it can be done without any Republican votes. Schumer calls it bipartisan, and that way the senators that are Republicans can say, well, we didn't vote for it. These people suck so bad. Let's read on. The language slipped in a must-pass bill to prevent Medicare cuts that allowed the Senate on a one-time basis to raise the debt ceiling via simple majority threshold rather than the 60-vote threshold needed to clear most bills. This allows Democrats to use their 50 votes plus the vice president as a tiebreak to pass the bill without involving a vote-a-rama or other procedural hurdles associated with reconciliation. Republicans are going to help along anyway. Yeah, some of the GOP were unhappy with McConnell over the deal and wanted to keep fighting to either force Democrats to make fiscal concessions to raise the debt limit or do it with their own reconciliation. I leaned yes when I first heard about it. It said Kevin Cramer, Republican, North Dakota. Some of McConnell's said of McConnell's deal with Schumer. But as I look at the calendar and the clock, I think we have more time to fight harder. Oh, okay. So we're going to fight harder. Fight. Democrats bad. They spent too much. Democrats bad. Okay, we had more time to fight. Okay, give them the money. It's amazing to me. There are no consequences. No consequences at all. It's good. It's going to come. It's going to come. I'm 65 years old. I doubt it will affect me at all, if any. What about your kids? What about your grandkids? My kids are in their 30s. My granddaughter's going to be 3 in a couple of months. What about them? America either is going to eventually have to tax everything so badly it puts our economy in the Stone Age and become a third world country, like the huge debt the African countries and other countries have that they borrowed money over the decades. In world organizations, the World Bank has made them basically servants. It's amazing to me. It's just amazing. Or we're going to have to default. And if that happens, holy crap, the world will just, the economies in the world will just go right down the toilet. Right down the toilet. In the old days, like in Germany, you use paper money to burn because it's cheaper than buying wood to keep warm. The American currency, the American dollar, was the number one currency in the world, and they're making it scrap paper. It's sick and disgusting. Mitch, Senator McConnell, I wish you well. I just wish you well somewhere else. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.